In a previous video, I talked to you about your pay package, your financial compensation, and kind of how to negotiate that, and some rules of thumb, and some explaining as to why those things happen, and what to expect, and how to talk to a prospective church about that. Today, I want to talk about your time compensation. So we're going to look at like vacation and personal days and holidays and professional days, and how you can kind of approach that when you're talking with a prospective church that you may go and serve and they hire you. When I came out of college and went to Alliance, they'd already set up that they would start me with 2 weeks of vacation. After 5 years, they would give me a third week, and after 10 years, they would give me a fourth week. And a week was 5 days. So starting out, I got 10 days of vacation, and that included 2 Sundays, and then it'd be 3 Sundays and then 4 Sundays. And that worked for me. That was great. I appreciated that very much. They also gave me personal days. So I got a personal day a quarter, and that was not against my vacation, but that was just a day for me that I could take off. I could do whatever I wanted to. It was kind of a day to breathe, a day to exercise, a day to kind of decompress, kind of just get away, get out of the office, get away from ministry, and those things. Some churches honor a personal day. Some do it, 1 or 2 a year. Some do it once a quarter. But those are some things that you can ask, because as I talked about in my exercise video, it's very important that you stay healthy. And so there may be days you just need to get out of Dodge and kind of blow off some steam and decompress and breathe. And so talk to them about, are there personal days that don't go against my vacation? Find out what holidays your church recognizes. So here in Moorhead, we recognize 7 different holidays, which means we don't come into work that day. We get paid for that day. It's like Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year, 4th of July. And so those are days that our staff doesn't come into the office. Now, if that holiday falls on a Saturday or a Sunday, then we just take off a different day, maybe the Friday or the Monday that's close to those. Sometimes we bank that day. So July 4th, instead of taking off the Friday or the Monday prior to July 4th, when it fell on a Sunday this year, we just bank it and use it later on in the year. Same thing if the holiday falls on your regularly scheduled day off, you take a different day off. Don't lose those holidays, but make sure you find out what holidays your church recognizes. And they may recognize your birthday and say, look, it's your birthday, don't come into work, which is a cool perk and benefit. Find out if they give you planning days. And so a planning day is where you just kind of maybe go off into the woods, you go into a cabin, you go to a hotel room, you go someplace where you can disconnect, that you unplug, that you just sit down with pen and paper and you dream and you plan and you pray and you vision cast the ministry in the church. So you're still doing ministry work. It's just you're not in the office doing the day-to-day routine stuff. Some churches actually give a whole week, and their pastor takes off that week and goes somewhere and just spends the whole week in prayer and in worship and fasting and planning and dreaming and vision casting. And so maybe that's just a couple of days, maybe it's a whole week, but talk to them about that. Find out how many professional days you get. So professional days are used for, like, if you're going to go to a convention, if you're going to go to a seminar, maybe you've been asked to preach at a revival or a camp meeting or a summer camp or whatever. So those are days where you're still doing ministry. It may not be affecting your church, but you're still serving, and it doesn't take away from your personal vacation. So make sure that is talked about. As a youth pastor, I went to summer camp for 20 summers, usually 2 weeks every summer. And the churches that I was at the time, they did not count those against personal or professional, because I was taking students. and that's how it should work. I talked to a pastor friend of mine, and he would bring his students to camp every year and drop them off and then leave. And I asked him, I said, why don't you stay? Why aren't you a camp counselor, camp pastor? We need your help. And he said, if I spend a week here at summer camp, I have to use personal vacation time. I only get 2 weeks, and I have a wife and 2 little kids at home. And I totally disagreed with that church's stance on that. To the point, I actually approached their senior pastor and discussed that with him, because I thought that was really wrong that the church was doing that. I went to a camp one time. I had already used 2 weeks of my professional, and so I didn't have any more time. At a winter camp had asked, hey, would you come and preach? And so I went to my senior pastor and I went to my board and I said, hey, look, I got this great opportunity to go preach at this college camp, but I've used all my professional time and I really don't have any time left. But they saw the big picture in that, and they saw the benefit, and they allowed me to go and not use any of my personal time. I just went to National Convention of the Church of God, and that was 4 days. And the church here in Moorhead allowed me to go, and those 4 days do not count against my personal vacation time. And so, in all of that time off, some of your churches and leaders are going to get it, and they're going to afford you those things. Some churches and leaders aren't going to get it, and you're going to kind of have to fight tooth and nail. They're going to see that you just want more and more and more time off, when that's not the case. You need time off to do those things, which leads me to sabbatical. And this is one of those things that some churches do and some churches don't. Kind of the rule of thumb, after you've been at that church for 7 years, they give you a sabbatical. Some churches are 5 years, some churches are 10 years, some churches won't do a sabbatical at all. I disagree with that. A sabbatical might be a week. It could be up to a month or longer, just depending on the church and your need for that time off. So a sabbatical is really where you shut down and you go and heal yourself and reflect and spend some time spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically on yourself. It's not a vacation per se, but it kind of is. And it's really for all those health issues in your life, so that you don't burn out. Because if you burn out, you're going to leave the church, or if you burn out, you may leave ministry altogether. And so it's better that a church gives you vacation and gives you personal, gives you professional, gives you a sabbatical. So I don't know where I got this idea from, but it has worked for me. So when I left Alliance after 8 years, I had 3 weeks vacation. I then go to Eaton, and Eaton said, we'll give you 2 weeks vacation. And my response was, no, I have earned 3 weeks. I'm at the same company, I've just moved locations. What I meant was, I'm still within the Church of God. In fact, I'm still at the Church of God in Ohio. I've just gone to a different location. So I want you to honor these 3 weeks that I've earned. And they agreed to that. And I said, because I'm still with the same company, when I've been here for 2 years, that would give me 10 years total in ministry within the Church of God. And I would like for you to give me a 4th week of vacation. And then I'm capped. I'm good with that. And they honored that as well. When I came here to Moorhead, I said the same pitch. Hey, I'm up to 4 weeks vacation. I don't want to give up my vacation. I've earned that vacation. And that's kind of a non-negotiable. And the church leaders here agreed. And so they graciously honored that and gave me my 4 weeks of vacation. So time off, whether it's vacation or sabbatical or personal or professional or holidays, those are things you need to talk about when you're at the negotiating table before you ever agree to go and serve a church. Hey, I hope this helps. And whatever time off you get, however it is given to you, I hope that you enjoy it, that you rest, that you revive, and that you come back to your church a better, stronger, refreshed pastor to continue to lead them and love them.